All right, I know it's been forever since I filmed anything, but we're back in the carport. The T4 gasket blew out entirely, so the car doesn't really make any boost. So yeah, we're gonna take the turbo off today. I would just put a new gasket on, but I'm gonna get the hot side cerakoted. And while I'm there, I'm gonna take the valve cover off and get it powder coated, just because I want to make the car a little better. So yeah, let's get into it. All right, so first thing we did, unplug the wideband sensor. I don't feel like trying to take the sensor out of the exhaust under the car, so I'm just gonna leave that plugged in. I think I'm just gonna take the pressure line for the feed off there. Just trying to make it as simple as possible. It might be easier to take off with the turbo. I don't know. But we need to get under the car to start taking all that apart, and I need to take everything off the valve cover. So I'll time lapse that. I don't know how much I'm gonna be able to record under the car, but I'll see what I can do. So, as per usual, there was some water on the plugs on cylinders 5 and 6. I go ahead and pause on doing the valve cover. I want to go ahead and get the turbo off. Obviously, I'm gonna have to set aside the most amount of time for that. So, hopefully that won't be too insanely difficult. I'm trying to remember which airline comes from the turbo. It looks like this one. I might just leave the airline, the reference line on the turbo, and cut it off there. Kind of like the feed line for the oil, just leave everything attached to the turbo and pull it all out. I feel like that might be the easiest way to do it. So now I need to jack the car up, get under it, and start pulling it apart. All right, so I've started taking it apart. Figured out why I blew the T4 gasket. So give me 1 second. I'll climb up under there and show you guys what's going on. All right, so I took the cross brace off, downpipe's out, pretty much ready to go. And well, I don't have the same leverage on it because I don't have the downpipe on it, but the turbo was loose. And as you can see, there is only one bolt on this side, and I assume, because there wasn't one on the other top, that it is the same for this. Let's see if I can shine a light in there. Yeah, so there's only one bolt. So there's 2 bolts holding the turbo on, and there should be 4. So now we'll get this drain line off, which, as everybody knows, friends don't let friends run red and blue AN, but this is all we had at the time. So let's see. That air line, the reference line's right there. Probably easiest to just take it off the boost controller. And then the feed line, which, oh wow, the bolt on the front holding the turbo on isn't even tight. I can take it off by hand. So we've got 1 bolt holding this turbo on. Yeah, that's great. So yeah, luckily there's a little bit of slack in the feed line, so if I decide I want to take it off from underneath the car, I can drop the turbo and then take it off. But I think I might just take it off from the top. But yeah, so I'll come back with an update. All right, got the turbo out. I didn't really film too much of the process. It was quite a bitch. Got oil in my eye, all that good stuff. Still got to pull the valve cover off. But yeah, here. So here's the turbo. I had decided I was just gonna leave the cold side in the car and separate the hot side, but that's not working. So somehow I managed to pull the entire thing without pulling the mount arm. So I'm gonna let it soak in PB Blaster and hope that that makes it to where we can separate the hot side from the cartridge, because that's currently not working. And then whenever I do that, I can take this to get it ceramic coated by my friend, and then take the valve cover with me. But right now, I'm gonna go run some other errands, grab some food, run my friend a fuel line that we made up the shop for him for his LS swapped Jeep. I wish I remembered what chassis code it was, but I don't. So if it matters to you what kind of Jeep it is, I'll figure it out. Yeah, so I'll check back in kind of as we do things. So I think I'm just gonna call it for today. Don't really feel like taking the valve cover off and letting it sit uncovered if I'm not gonna have the turbo apart and have everything over to my friend. So yeah, so we'll pick this up maybe tomorrow, hopefully. Yeah, till then. All right, so it is the next morning. Turbo still won't come apart. Don't know what I'm gonna do about that, but I'm gonna take this valve cover off. I'm gonna take everything with me, and then go up to the shop and try and get the turbo apart with them, just so I have another hand. And then, yeah, hopefully run everything over to get powder coated. So let's get this valve cover off real quick, and then, yeah. All right, so got it officially all stripped down. I might put a spare valve cover on it just to cover it. It's not like it'll seal it from the elements or anything, but it'll give me some peace of mind. Yeah, let's see, I got one sitting out here. Set this one in the truck real quick. All right, so turbo valve cover in the truck, and got another valve cover sitting on top of the engine. Like I said, it's not like it's gonna protect it from the elements or anything, but it'll give me some peace of mind that the valves, the cams and stuff aren't just sitting out in the open. I don't think I need anything else. Yeah, so I will pick this up after class when I'm running everything around, and see you guys. All right, it's been about a month picking this video back up. Finally got all our parts back. Let's try and get them installed. Gonna pull this valve cover off, put the one I got powder coated back on, and try and jam the turbo back in with the new cerakoted exhaust housing. Let's see. Here, my buddy Eric took care of both those parts for me, and usually does a pretty good job on everything, and continued to do so on these ones. So let's see if we can get this stuff in the car. All right, so turbo's in. It's not actually bolted up or anything. I need to go buy bolts still. I want to order Nord washers too. I have to find my gasket. Oh, here it is. Oh, good. It's right there. Yeah. so I wanted to pull it, put it in, pull it back out, make sure it was clocked right, and put it back. As much of a struggle as it was, that's not happening. It's in. I think it's clocked right. If not, I can probably make up for it in a coupler. Yeah, so buy bolts, get new gaskets. Well, I have the new gasket. I need to get washers, I need to get nuts, and then I can finish putting that together. But right now, let's put the valve cover together. All right, so here is the nice, freshly powder coated valve cover. All this is kind of like impurities in the magnesium, because these are cast magnesium pieces. So there's really nothing Eric could do there. But as you can see, it's all clean on the inside now. The only thing is, we have to put this baffle back in, which he took off for us and bagged. So let's see if we can figure out how to orient this and then put the valve cover back. All right, so that was pretty straightforward. Only one way this can go in. I guess it's I'm assuming it's the baffle for the ventilation, because that's right there. So now we'll put this carrier for the wiring back in. I should clean it, but you know how we work here, we don't. So there's that. Yeah, so we'll get this on and then put the valve cover back on the engine and bolt that back down. All right, so now that we got this rail back in, it's a case of simply removing this one, which I never bolted down, throwing it away, and then putting our freshly powder coated one in place and securing it with all those bolts there. So yeah, the gasket's already in place. Kind of made sure that stayed there once I took the one that I was getting powder coated off. So do this. And now we can see it in the car finally. Yeah, that makes a huge difference over the rattle cam. All right, got the valve cover back on, all the coil packs plugged in, and the cover that covers all of that great work up. I'm gonna test fit the turbo, put the one nut that I still have for it on it wherever it went, and hope that everything lines up right. So we'll do that real quick, and that'll probably wrap it up for today. All right. Obviously, after getting my ass kicked for an hour and a half, a little wiped out. But the turbo is in. I believe it's clocked right. I didn't put the gasket on. I've still got to buy bolts for it. Still got a long list of stuff to do. But yeah, so now that this video has taken almost a month, because of waiting on parts and stuff, I'll wrap it up. I'll put this video up and hopefully not take another half a year to make another video. Once the car is up and running again, I'll try and get some like driving around clips and stuff. But yeah, see you guys.